Today I'm at Springs Pond and it's very windy, as you can see by the trees and probably even hear with the wind. A lot of dust blowing around. Oddly enough, the downstream side of where the wind's blowing has no algae. It's rather clear, so I was going to come out here to try to do some catfishing. I haven't caught a catfish in the state of Utah, and I thought I would try that because I heard that there is some in here. But I've got waves, I've got a different weather condition right now with regards to what I've fished here before, so I'm going to see if I can catch some bass. I'm not sure if they're going to be underneath the weeds or if they're in this open area. I happen to have a speed worm left over on this rod, so I'm just going to start with the speed worm. It's a little bright. If I get some of that cloud cover over here, maybe I'll stay with this, but right now I think it's a little too bright for this thing unless I go up on the grass itself. That is very thick. I have 4-pound line on this, so I can't really go deep into there. Water seems to be a little more clear over here than that first spot. This is running current, so I'm guessing that there's going to be bass in this area. I think I'm going to switch and use something that's underneath the water. I'll make a few casts here and then I'll switch over. Okay, I'm gonna give up on this mud. I think it'll be good for catfish, but I don't think it's gonna be good for the bass. I think the bass is going to look for the cleanest water that it can hunt in. The water's really low. You can see this area has a little shelf to it, and all these rocks that used to be submerged are now above water, so that's a lot of water that's been drained out. Well, this isn't going to work too well with this ultralight, so let's go back into the mud and try to catch some catfish. So my rigging is quite simple. I have a octopus hook, about a number 1 hook. I don't know if you could see that. Set up as a drop shot, tied with a Palomar knot and down to a barrel drop shot weight. That's a 1/8. And for my bait, I'm using this FishBites. It's something you can leave in your tackle that doesn't go bad. Eventually it might dry out and you just need to spray or spritz a little bit of water in there, not a lot, but you can resaturate it, which is what I did. Mine was dry because I hadn't used it in years. And you essentially just tear a piece of it off and then put it on the end of your line, and it has a nice little smell that apparently catfish like. So we'll see. This is the first time I've used this bait for catfish. I've used it out in the Gulf for other types of fish, but I've never used this particular flavor or scent for catfish, so this will be a first. I tend to get bored of bait soaking, so I'm going to put this on a rod holder. And hopefully it doesn't blow around too much. This way I can try doing some other stuff. That wind is catching this line, so I'm having to hold it down now. I may have to just put it out on the rocks horizontally. Well, I think what I'm going to have to do is put a float on the end, not to lift it up, but put a float really far, maybe 2-3 feet, whatever it would take, so that it can just sit in the water. And then this way I can let the line stay loose and I can just watch for the bobber to move. Let's see if that sinks, or can't imagine it's that deep, and it's not. So there it is. That's my solution. I'll just let it sit there, and if that cork starts moving, then I know that it's got a fish on there. Since I'm having to stay in this mud area, I'm going to need something that makes vibration or noise, both. Trying to decide if I go with the crankbait, which I think would be bad because it is much shallower. I might have to go with the spinnerbait. I'm going to turn off the camera while I'm rigging and waiting. And I have something. Hey, look at that. My first catfish in Utah. Worked just like I thought. The bobber went down. Got it right in the mouth, which is where I was hoping I would get it. That's mainly why I like using a drop shot rig. The line kind of blocks the fish from taking it all the way in. There it is. Oh, he's blind in one eye. Let's get a good shot of this. There he is. Got my first, I'm guessing it's a bullhead. And nice little chunky catfish for its size. Oh, bye-bye. That was fun. Didn't take long to catch one. And like I said, I just have a little trout magnet bobber that I stuck on the end. Since it has a slit, I can add it on at any time. And here's another nice thing about this FishBites is I still have it left over, not even damaged, where I can reuse it again. If you want a close-up, that's kind of all that it is. They put some kind of scented piece on cloth, and it tends to last quite a long time. Since it's a cloth, it doesn't just break off easily.